Hi everyone, welcome to a new devlog. In this episode we will see the new graphical test I've done to define the style of the game, since I'm still a little hesitant between semi-realistic and toon styles. On the other hand, I started with the integration of the UI design for the dialogue and some minor improvements in the combat system. So let's get started! I'm still a bit hesitant with the graphic style. I'm still thinking about two styles that can work very well, the semi-realistic and the toon style. So I decided to take the same character, a skeleton from the Fallen, and create it in both styles. Once finished, I posted some renders asking on social media which style you guys like better. It seems that the semi-realistic style is clearly the most preferred. For me it's easier to do that style because I have to rely less on shaders, and I have more experience with that workflow. If you haven't yet given your opinion, please leave your feedback in the comments. In the next few days I will take the decision and I will start making all the necessary assets following that style, from characters, creatures, accessories to all kinds of trees, rocks, houses, dungeons, etc. I want to thank all of you who have shared their thoughts on social media. It helps me a lot. On the other hand, I work again on the dialogue system. I changed the camera system during conversations. Now the camera blends to a fixed position where we can see both characters, instead of switching from NPC to the player and vice versa with every conversation. This system is used by quite a few games, but seeing it the new Amazon game New World made me decide on this point of view. Other features are related to quests. In Howling Tales, many quests will be given depending on the answers the player chooses during the conversation. So when the player chooses an answer that gives a quest, this answer will be hidden the next time we visit the NPC. Finally, I applied a new UI design. This was not very difficult, but making it work with the controller was quite a challenge. I had to create a custom system for the hover and unhover that also had to be flexible because when a quest is given, that option is not visible anymore. So the system has to check if when going up or down with the controller, there is a hidden answer or not to continue with the next one. The solution came with using a Boolean variable to mark the answer as answered or not. When I integrate the save and load system, this method will also serve to load and hide quests that have already been assigned. On the other hand, the NPC now only follows with his head when the player enters his interaction area, and when we leave his area, he stops looking at us. It's a small detail, but I think it gives more personality and realism to the NPC. Finally, I made a mini modification in the combat system. Until now, the lock-on targeting system worked manually, which I think should work that way. The modification is made when the player changes a combo. Combos are of 4 attacks and are designed to push the enemy to a certain distance for crowd control. By pushing the enemy farther away, we give the player some time to attack nearby enemies. Separating enemies is a good combat strategy to finish with groups. The current problem is that if you lock on an enemy and do a combo, the enemy is still locked. So you had to unlock again to attack another enemy. Now when doing the combo, if the enemy is locked, the system unlocks the enemy automatically so we can attack nearby enemies without wasting time. I'm very interested to know what you like better, auto or manual lock-on targeting. Please leave your opinions in the comments. And that was this week's progress. As always, if you like this content, please like the video and subscribe. And leave your suggestions and opinions in the comments. I really appreciate them and it's very helpful. Thank you very much for watching, have a good week and see you next Monday.